We're getting closer and closer to Leiden. July 15 and 16, Engaging with Vietnam, number 11. And things are really starting to come together now, right?
Yes.
So...
Can't wait to share so many wonderful things about the upcoming program.
First of all, for all of the people who have registered, thank you very much. That really helps us plan things. If you haven't registered, but you are still planning to participate, please do so as soon as possible.
Yes.
And now on to the good news. What's the good news?
Yes, so I think in our last video, we already talked a little bit about our plenary speaker, our keynote speakers, right? Professor Jonathan London from the University of Leiden.
Right.
And now, would you like to talk more about our other keynote speakers?
Sure. I mean, one person who will be speaking is Gerard Sazjes from the National University of Singapore. He's an historian, and at the moment he's into space, outer space.
Yes, but okay. No more about that until later. Yes.
Let's space on that. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
But the big news, I mean, not the big news, interesting news is that in the past month or two, you've been contacted by various people, and the things that they do fit perfectly with the things that we do at Engaging with Vietnam, and we have some really exciting initiatives for the upcoming conference.
Yes. So, for example, we are collaborating with two art spaces in Vietnam called Phố Bên Đồi and Urban Sketchers Vietnam to co-curate an interactive project. You know, looking at different aspects of urban development, heritage, and sustainable tourism about or in urban space on the highlands of Vietnam.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes.
Wait, these folks are from Dalat.
Yes, and Ho Chi Minh City.
Okay,
yes.
well, that's totally
Right.
fascinating places
Yes.
for looking at urbanization, heritage, and a lot of stuff going on right at the moment, for instance.
Right.
Okay.
And yes, so I mean, and right now we are working really hard on the project itself, and then yeah, I mean, it's gonna be wonderful. So yes, but more information will be shared with you.
But that'll be something ongoing that's integrated with the conference, right?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Another great development is that we will be going to the movies. Is that right?
Yes. And would you like to talk more about that?
I think I would like you to talk more about
yes.
that. Huh?
I think it has been wonderful to speak directly with a film director, Lâm Lê, who is currently living in France, and he's a director of the well-known movie Công binh đêm dài Đông Dương.
Công binh La Longue Nuit Indochinoise. Yeah.
Yes. So,
which we saw a version of.
Yes. In Hanoi in 2016 when it was first screened there.
Right. It was that was fascinating. This is a movie, a documentary, if you will, about some of the 20,000 Vietnamese who went to France during World War II.
Yes.
Many of them worked in weapons factories. But then director Lâm Lê interviewed, I think, 20 men who are still alive, 10 in Vietnam, 10 who are still in France. And it's just a fascinating look at an historical episode that we, for the large part, has not really been talked about. But by going into the lives of these people who experienced it and then who have had different, life trajectories after that, provides a really fascinating look at much bigger issues of Vietnamese,
colonialism,
French, world history. Yeah, totally fascinating. So he'll be presenting the film?
The film will be screened on the 16th of July co-hosted by Engaging with Vietnam and ICAS.
Okay.
And director Lâm Lê will be there.
Okay.
Talking, interacting with the audience.
Can we get ICAS director Philippe Pécam to help out?
Of course.
Okay, great.
Philippe's gonna be there.
Wonderful.
Yes,
okay.
Eagerly waiting for all of us.
Oh, great.
Yes,
okay. So we can expect a great discussion following the screening of a fantastic film.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
great.
Right.
So we're going to the movies. There's something about space, but there's art, and then there's fashion. Is that right? Okay.
Yes. But actually, we are going to take you, or maybe to tell different tales of áo dài.
Okay.
Or the called Vietnam's national costume.
Right.
And actually, Liam, right, we've been talking about modernity and how Vietnam participated in so-called modernity at the beginning of the last century through fashion.
Right.
And later on through
space travel.
Yes.
Right. I mean, modernity, we should probably be saying we're modernities because there's multiple forms of what modernity is.
Yes.
And Vietnamese at different times and in different places have all participated in different forms of global modernity, but Europe plays a really important place in these global, formations of modernity. And so the áo dài was formed through a dialogue with, at that time, particularly French forms of modernity. In the 1980s, Vietnamese went into space in dialogue with Soviet ideas of modernity.
Yes.
Both periods equally cool, equally modern, and equally fascinating in the things that they can tell us about just the Vietnamese experience and the human experience in the 20th and continuing into this century.
Yes.
And so we're going to try to find ways to bring all of this stuff together, from fashion to the cosmos. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but even
but
more...
cosmonauts, spacemen have good fashion too. That's cool stuff.
Yes, right? And
Space áo dài. Okay, anyway.
But even more exciting is that all these discussion and screenings of movies or talk show will be interwoven, with academic discussion, and we have speakers as well as designers who are behind, who are using their own language to create knowledge and also to talk about the ups and downs of fashion and of modernities and different forms of modernities. So I think at the conference we will have the opportunity to interact and really engage in depth through multiple forms of knowledge and traditions.
Yeah, because it's not like designers and film directors are not academic. They just they just go at things from a different angle, and one of the things that we try to do at Engaging with Vietnam is to bring people coming from those different angles into dialogue with this angle, with people in coming at things from an academic perspective. That's
but I definitely based on my very in-depth discussions with film directors, artists and fashion designers over the past few months. I must admit that there are so many things about many of them that we academics probably ignore, overlook, or are unable to even recognize. Yes, I think that will be exciting to have all these voices come together.
Absolutely. Okay. So July 15 to 16.
So actually, Engaging with Vietnam will take place exclusively on the 15th and 16th of July. However, we will also have more sessions on the 17th and 18th of July together with other ICAS sessions. And all Engaging with Vietnam participants will be able to participate in all other activities provided or included in the ICAS program all the way from the 15th to the 19th of July in Leiden. So stay tuned and just be ready to participate as much as you love to. Yeah.
See you in Leiden and see you in outer space.
And in fashion, in áo dài. Thank you. Actually, there's more, but I forgot.
What'd you forget?
That is the learning and unlearning. Yes, you know, sometimes I'm too excited, and you know that
Space
I
and
forgot
fashion
things.
just get you too excited.
Yes, and actually, Engaging with Vietnam is also working with artists in Europe.
Ah, okay.
Yes, particularly artist Cường Phạm, who's currently based in London, and another art space called Native in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yes, to co-curate a project that highlights different aspects of language, culture, and identity among Vietnamese communities across Europe.
Okay.
Yes, and so that project will be featured in both Engaging with Vietnam and ICAS in Leiden. Yes.
Speaking of Amsterdam, is there going to be music at this conference?
Of course, yes.
Did we mention that before?
No.
Okay, then maybe we should keep that secret.
Maybe in our next video, right?
Okay.
We will talk about music.
Right,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So see you in the next video. There is music,
Yes.
and fashion, and film, and space, and art,
Yes.
and academics.
Yes. Okay.